Good evening, Super League fans worldwide. We are joined again by another manager for a half-season review, and this time it is the Ardsley Celtic manager Hodgy, big Leeds fan, and currently sitting pretty at the very top of the league at the halfway stage. I look forward to a very interesting chat. He's normally a good laugh, so this could be real good fun. We'll just wait for him to join in here while we serenade him with the Leeds United anthem. Still waiting the arrival of the current league leader, Hodgy, for this evening's chat. Lots to go through. The improvement in Vieira, the difference between this season and last, and some other key names that have perhaps not gone under the radar, but weren't expected to do it quite as well as they've done. Good evening, Hodgy. How are you?
Fantastic, mate. Yeah, brilliant. Good. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad at all. Thank you, pal. I don't know what it's like up in Yorkshire at the minute, but it's quite warm in Leicestershire. It's probably all that disease flying around.
Yeah, I think we're all still a little bit hungover, or maybe still drunk to really know about weather, realise about weather.
When we arranged all these and I arranged yours, I didn't really think anything of it. And the longer this weekend's been going on, I'm thinking, oh no, is he going to be in any state for this?
I went out, celebrated last night, but I had all four lads this morning from 7:30, so I had to rein it in a little bit. I come home about 11:30 last night, so I had something to eat, and I've been busy all day, so I've not been celebrating as much today.
I mean, in the Super League managers sort of private chat, you sent a text at what, 1:15 in the morning this morning, saying that Leeds are champions, and I think I was the only one awake to reply.
Yeah, you pointed out I might have had a beer or two.
Well, I was going to come on to it later, as I did with Scott the other day, but let's start with Leeds, away from the Super League. 16 years out of the big time, you're finally back, you've done it as champions, you've done it with swagger. What, as a Leeds fan, I mean, as a football fan, I've gone on record as saying how happy I am that Leeds are back in the Premier League. As a Leeds fan, what does it mean to be A, going up, and B, going up as champions, and C, in the swagger and style you've done it in?
Yeah, well, I think if you'd have asked any supporter 16 years ago, I think it was a bit of a, we'll go to some new grounds, have a bit of fun, sort of the newly formed championship, we'll be straight back up. And yeah, it didn't really go to plan. I mean, there's been some bloody lows. There really has been some lows.
Losing
But
3-0 to Swindon, home and away.
yeah, and then buying the wrong striker off you. We bought Billy
Billy.
instead of Charlie Austin. Yeah, but yeah, it's just massive. I mean, just how it's sort of brought everybody together. I mean, I'm on sort of follow quite a few Leeds fans, and we're normally sort of arguing with each other. And like last few weeks, it's just felt like it's right. You know, this time we've had a few failed attempts, and I think we've probably, did we deserve to go up last year? I don't know. We fell apart as the song goes, but no, this year nobody's got near us, I don't think, to be fair.
Well, prior to doing this with you, and just to give it a little plug, I earlier this evening recorded with Half and Half Scars podcast. And obviously Kieran, one of the main guys on that, is a Fulham fan. And needless to say, we exchanged a couple of pleasant but loud words as I described them as bottlers, whereas Leeds were the only team in the Championship that deserved to go up. So hopefully everyone will get to listen to that, and hopefully I'll gain a few more followers by all the Leeds fans that listen to it.
Oh, definitely, mate. Yeah.
Enough real football. Let's talk Super League. That's what all the fans are interested in. You are top of the table. But before we discuss that, last Sunday, 7-goal thriller with the Dragons. Unfortunately for you, you were on the wrong end of the 4-3.
Yeah, I don't know where that performance come from, to be fair. Not in disrespect to Dragons beating us, but I mean, conceding 4 goals at home as well is something we've not been doing recently. We've been very tight at the back, but to be honest, I was just happy to see us score 3 goals, to be fair, because we've not been scoring many goals. We sort of sneaking in 1-0, and we got a couple near the end, and I think had it have finished 4-1, I would have maybe been like, oh shit, we're still not really scoring, but now we're starting to concede. But yeah, it was nice to get a few goals. I mean, I think that's the 4th time we've met Dragons now. I think it's 13 all. So there's always plenty of goals, and yeah, we were just on the wrong end of that one. But I think if you look at the match stats and the player ratings, I don't think there's anything to worry about really. I think we were pretty good in defeat. I don't think I've been as good as that and got beat in the Super League. Generally, when I get beat, I'm sort of like, yeah, I deserve to lose that when we were poor. But yeah, it wasn't the worst defeat, and maybe the break just sort of comes at a nice little time now to sort of try and forget about that until you brought it back up.
On a much happier note, as we've alluded to, you are sitting pretty at the top. You are 3 points clear of 3rd, and crucially, 12 points clear of 7th. Is it fair to say you're already thinking you've got your top 6, it's all about the top 2 now?
No, I don't know. From what we're at week 14 now. From week 14 last season.
Yeah, we're just on week 14.
Yeah, we picked up 2 points from this stage last season. So it's easy to get, you know, a couple of defeats and losing's an easy habit. So I wouldn't be sat here saying, oh, we've got it wrapped up, because I've seen who would have said that VTech would go 7 or 8 games losing, and to be fair, playing pretty well and losing. So that could easily happen to us. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, we're ready for the playoffs now. It's just about where we finish in them. You know, we've got to keep turning up, playing well and winning games, because I'm thinking, was it 36 points? Did it last season? 37 points, something like that. I think you're I think you're going to be looking more 42 this year. So we're still a way off.
The infamous Palmer theory is you have to get 40 points to be in the top 6. I think Martin said, based on the halfway point, you're looking closer 42, 43 this year.
Yeah. So we're still 12 points. You know, that's 3 wins. No, it's 4 wins, isn't it? It's 4 wins. Maybe I am still a little hungover, but yeah, it's easy enough saying, "Oh, you're doing really well now," but you've got to get points on the board. You've got to win games, and games are tough. You know, you look where Dragons are, and they came to us at our place and beat us pretty well, really. I mean, a couple of late goals, really, that sort of made it look a little bit more respectable.
It's a very valid point you make. And when you think back to where you were and where you finished last year, do you think it's a case of something went horribly wrong last year or something is going wonderfully well this year?
No, it's the game, mate. It's the game. We got played by the game last year. I'm telling you, I could sit here, I could go through it. We had, we were 2-1 up against Panathinaikos with a couple of minutes to go, lost 3-2. We were beating Midlothian, last minute goal equaliser, beating Hull's last minute goal equaliser. We were 2-0 up against Chudley, lost 5-2. We missed 75% of his penalties. Our only decent performance was when we had 9 men on the pitch. There was nothing I could do about that. Honestly, like I moved a central midfielder up front. That's all I did. The player instruction didn't change from how I was set up last year. And I do think, I thought to myself now when I see B-Tech playing it and you know they're getting beaten, I just sort of think to Ian, there's nothing you can do, mate. If it's not having it for you, just well, I spoke to him about it and I've just said that it gets to a point where you actually start laughing. You do. You know it's coming. You know what's going to happen. So yeah, I can't really say, oh yeah, I was bad at this last year and I've changed this, or oh, we do this so much differently. I mean, even the players that we've brought in, the goalkeeper's been a big hand, but Madeira's stopped scoring. Nicky Ferenko hasn't been fantastic, so I couldn't even sort of really pin it down to one or two individuals who sort of, you know, really stepped up and be like, well, they've made us better. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Well, you may not be able to, but I most certainly can. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't realise I hadn't sent you the screen grab of the stats, because all the other managers, when they agreed to do this, I send them the stats that Martin provided me. And for some reason, I didn't send them to you. So I do apologise, and you will get a copy. But you said you can't pick out 1 or 2 people. I can. Vieira is averaging 8.31 this season. Now, that's not a surprise to any CM players. But the reason that is significant is because by his immaculate standards, he was awful last year for you. The other player I've picked out is a player who hasn't gone unnoticed. I think he was at least nominated, if not made the team of the season so far, and it's Kufre, 8.36 at the back. And considering he wasn't even, he was what, 3rd or 4th choice centre back at the start of the season for you? He only got a place because Terry and Kivu were injured. Kivu, by comparison, is your only player averaging below a 7 at 6.8.
Yeah. But on the Vieira point, is the sort of thing that I'm saying is that I've not done anything to get that change. I've not altered anything with him. He's just decided to do it himself, turn up a little bit more.
He's thought, okay, I've had enough of chilling by the beach in Australia. I'm going to play some football.
Yeah, I'm going to get down to work now. But to be honest, the Kufre one, he was gone. Last season, he was in my reserves and he was free to go. I think Martin was trying to sell it. And I did a deal with Craig, swapping Landro for Larson. So when we agreed that deal, I said to Martin, I said, look, can I bring Kufre back if he's... I thought he may have been sold out of the league. As he's, can I bring him back and I'll throw Stephen Bywater away and I'll just go with 2 goalkeepers for the end of the season. This was before the rule was changed that you have to have 3. Season were gone. If I have to play John Terry in goal, I'm not bothered. I'm thinking about next year now. So we brought Kufre back, and yeah, the rest is history. So Landreau was being brilliant for us in goal, and that allowed us, letting Larson go, allowed us to get rid of Bywater to bring Kufre in. So I don't know whether maybe stint in the reserves has sort of kicked him up the arse a little bit, and he's been absolutely brilliant. For me, well, I think I might have been the only one that voted him. I voted for him as my player of the season so far with my Ardsley glasses on, but yeah, he's been brilliant. I mean, even last week, I think he got a 9 last week. We got beat 4-3.
There's been rumours. How close were you to giving it up? There's been rumours you said something along the lines of 5 games, and if it's not going well, I'm leaving. Is that true?
Yeah, I said 7 games, because basically I just sort of thought, look, if I have just sort of been cursed a little bit last season, let's give it 7 games and see where we stand. And then the 3rd game of the season against Chudley, so we'd beat Dragons, been hammered by Valen, and we were playing Chudley. And I was playing darts that night. We were in lockdown, and I was playing darts through a video link with my mate because we were in lockdown. And I didn't see the game live, so I watched it later on. And we were 2-0 down at half time, and Ryan had had a few beers, and he was basically saying, like, what's he doing? He's not taking it seriously. His team's is a joke. He needs to sort himself out. And then literally at half time then I was like, I've had enough of this. I'm not sitting on my sofa at 11:30 on a night watching my team get hammered and then being just, having the piss taken out of me. I've had enough of this.
You want to try being me, mate?
Yeah. Yeah, but you love that, don't you? And that was it. I quit. I was like, right, that's it. Tomorrow I'm going to let Martin know, because I thought, this is it, we're done. And somehow we turned it round. We won 4-3, and then we went and won 7 more after that. And I decided I'd stay for now.
Has consistency been the key? As I was going through your stats, one thing that struck me is there was a lot of players with very low appearance figures. So I thought, that must mean there's a lot of players with high. 10 players have made 10 appearances or more this season. And again, you allude to the fact that we're on game week 14.
Yeah, to be fair, I think I've just chopped and changed my centre halves about a bit, and that's been down to injury. The third striker was a bit choppy and changey. We had Morientes and Madeira. Tristan decided he didn't like me for some reason, so we swapped about sort of between Lopez, Tristan, and Recoba.
Don't forget who's centre appearance.
Yeah. And yeah, really, other than that, it's been pretty solid. I think Candela had a couple of games out, Volodenkov come in. But barring that, I think we're pretty predictable in how we're going to line up. But I think most good teams are, aren't they? When teams are winning, you know how they're going to play. The problem isn't knowing how they're going to play, it's how you're going to stop them playing. And I think teams maybe did sort of find that out a little bit, and we've changed it again. And we're still on we've not been brilliant over the last 6 or 7 weeks, I don't think, really. Probably beating Midlothian 2-0 was a nice result. But other than that, I think we've maybe not been at our best. So to still be top now and maybe possibly coming out of a bad run, it could be quite encouraging for the second half of the season if we can sort of get back to where we were maybe 6 or 7 weeks ago.
And looking further ahead now, you haven't, that I've noticed, announced any transfers in the out of Super League transfer window. Are you looking to do any deals in this window?
Yeah. In the summer window or now?
No, this one we're in now.
Yes, yeah, I've signed one player, Goncalo Oliveira, who
Oh, of
is,
course.
yeah, he's a really, really good player on home saves. Whether he can do it or not, I don't know. But obviously, we did the 2-for-1 deal with Mac at Panathinaikos. So we're actually a player short. Well, I think we've got 23-man squad. So it's basically a bit of a free hit. You know, I'm not having to let anybody to go bring him in. If he's no good, I can swap him straight back out for another out of league signing whenever. One more player, obviously only one more. We've only got two, but yeah, I've had a bid accepted for a player, contracts sorted out, everything went through, and he failed a medical, which he failed a medical last summer when I tried to sign him. He was out for 18 months, and he had 10 days left on his injury, and he failed his medical. So Martin sent me the screenshot. So-and-so accepts Ardsley. Yeah, he says, you've got him. Nice one. Literally 30 seconds later, he went, I was typing out, I was going to announce them both together. I was typing it out. He went, oh, don't go announcing anything yet. He's failed his medical. So, and obviously, he can't play past the game day now. So, I'm waiting on that one. Hopefully,
Any teasers
hopefully
as
that
to who it
is what, sorry?
Just any little tease as to who it might be?
I can tell you it is because there was two of us in for him, and obviously one's Rob at Sloths, so and he's not there. So it's Melito, Gabriel
Oh,
Melito, the centre half. Yeah, just to
no.
add to our collection of defensive midfielders and centre halves that we've probably got an abundance of.
And are you already looking to the next window before we know what rules we do or don't have to play within from making it plausible for Martin to do it? Are you looking at the next in Super League window and who you might try and do business with already? Or are you just looking to see this season out, see what happens and take it from there?
No, I'm always looking. Yeah, I'm always having a little look. I think it's only natural, you know, that you sort of see what's out there, and if somebody gets your interest, obviously I'm a little bit involved in the Crespo deal because I'm a further down the pecking order deal, so I'm waiting to see what happens there. There's a deal in place, but obviously if that deal doesn't happen, this one isn't needed. So I spoke to Mr. Edwards about it. He says, "What do you want to do?" I says, "Look, I'll just sit and wait and see what happens." And
You've got a
we'll see.
history with doing that. You've
That's
got
good.
history because our deal, you sort of agreed it well in advance of anything, and then we're just like, well, we both agreed it now. We'll just see it through, sort of thing.
Yeah,
We both probably weren't bothered either way, but it's actually
yeah,
turned out all right for both of us.
yeah. That's it. I mean, I always sort of make a thing that if you agree on it, you've got to stand by it. It's all right me now. I mean, I've if I make a deal with somebody for a centre forward and to swap my centre forward for theirs, and then mine all of a sudden starts scoring. You know, he scores 15 goals in the running. I think it says a lot for me as a person if I sort of go, oh no, he started scoring now. I don't want to do that deal because he might have shifted players on because of that. So I just think if you agree on something, you stand by it, and if it bites you in the ass later on, you just get on with it, take it on the chin.
What are your ambitions for the second half of the season? I mean, it's obvious to say to go and win it, which I imagine would be the answer to that. But realistically, are you just looking to finish in the top six? Are you looking to finish in the top two? Are you looking like from here we should be winning it?
I think I'll just be happy with the playoffs, to be honest with you. And then I know people are going to say, "Oh, you've got to be a bit more than that," but like I missed out last year. Nowhere near, to be fair. But we were in at the halfway point. We were in that mix of teams that weren't good enough, but we're fortunate that 6 teams out of 14 make the playoffs. You know, I've mentioned many times that the Midlothian were nowhere near as good as the rest of the sides in there, and I think that's going to always sort of going to be hard to take, missing out, even if you sort of know you're probably not good enough. You know, at that halfway stage last year, yes, we could have made it, but no, we weren't good enough. And then obviously with SLF, I missed out on the last day. Again, probably we weren't good enough, but we missed out on the last day again. And then you've sort of got to wait a few weeks of watching the shows but not playing. And you just want to be involved, don't you? I think that's it for me. I just want to be involved. And by making the playoffs, you're sort of stretching your season out a little bit longer. I've never been there, so that's something sort of to tick off. That for me, that's the main aim. And then obviously, when you're in the playoffs, you want to win. You know, we're not going to say, "Oh, we've got Valens, we ain't got a chance." So if we're in the playoffs and we're playing Valen, we want to win, and we will keep wanting to win, and we see where that takes us. But like you say, I think from last season to this season, getting into the playoffs it would be a massive achievement, I believe.
Without doubt. You mentioned in there, so just a quick word on Midlothian. I discussed it with them on show number 1, and I also discussed it with Scott he would have been show number 2.
My cheerleader.
There's this sort of Yorkshire Scottish rivalry going on. I asked Mr. Rocks if he'd be pulling out any impressions of a Yorkshire accent anytime soon. He seems to already concede defeat to your impression of a Scottish accent.
Yeah, I think I'd probably go with that. I'd love to hear him have a crack at it there. Thing is it really winds my missus up. I speak in a Scottish accent at home all the time, and it really winds her up. And I was in the kitchen and I was playing it, and she went, "That sounds like you when you're speaking Scottish." I says, "That is me." And showed her, "What are you doing now?" So yeah, but no, I think it's all good fun, isn't it? You've got to have that there. He seems to enjoy it. It's both ways, I think. It's nice to have a bit of that, I think.
No, without doubt. I mean, I've had many a friendly rivalry throughout my many years of being shit in the Super League. Obviously, I take full credit for making Boise the star he's become. He was just a loudmouth Scotsman before I started doing stupid videos to then entice him into doing them. And then, lo and behold, he's gone on to bigger and better things. I think Ryan's now trying to get on the Devil's bandwagon by being my arch enemy. Listen, I'm all for it. You can all bring it on. I'm the most talked about Super League manager, and I've achieved fuck all in 5 years. So it's that simple. Come at me, guys. The same question I've given everyone to finish, and it's up to you whether you go top to bottom, bottom to top. No sitting on the fence. I want a prediction, 1 to 14, who finishes where. And then from there, I will ask you who wins it.
Right. 1 to 14. I've got to back myself, and I've got to back myself. We're top now. So yep. I've got to back myself. I'll stick us in there. I think Valen, I think will be second. Churchtown third. Wee Jimmy Cranky and his boys fourth. Midlothian. Who's that leave fifth? I think Ryan Bolton fifth. Palmer sixth. I can't see this to six changing. I can't see this anyone from outside of the six breaking in, to be honest. Yeah, so that'd be my six, I think. And then
just on that, before you carry on, I'm interested if and when I get Chris on to do his half-term report, because I think now you're my fourth of these interviews, and I'm pretty sure all four have said that Bolton are going to finish ahead of Palmer-Panaikos, which we know what that rivalry means to the two of them. So it's going to be interesting to see what he thinks to that.
Yeah, I personally think Bolton have got a lot better side than Palmer-Panaikos. I'm not. I think by putting Ryan in fifth and Mac in sixth, I'm not saying that Ryan's better than Mac. I'm maybe just saying that Ryan will do better with the tools that he's got. You know what I mean? I'm not I think Bolton have got a stronger, well, maybe not a stronger squad, a stronger 11. Bolton have got a good 11. Yeah, I would. To be fair, if this was a pre-season thing, I would have them higher than 5th. They've had a not shaky start, but they've dropped points where they probably wouldn't have done last year. But I still think 5th, and it's that whole thing of if you come into the playoffs, you know, we won eight in a row. If that run comes in the playoffs, no one could beat us. And if a team can hit the playoffs in that form, I don't care if they come 6th, 5th, 4th. They'll take some beating, and somebody could do it.
So carry on then. So you've done the top 6, 7 down to 14.
Oh,
Is this more a test of if you can remember all the team names?
yeah, I've got all the team names, mate. Don't worry about that. Probably go Aston 7th, Pools 8th, Dragons 9th, 10th, Chudley, 11th, Sloths, 12th, B-Tech, 13. Who have I forgotten?
So it's basically me and Hoddesdon left.
Right, yeah, you'll get 13th. Oddison will finish bottom.
Interesting. I'm feeling, and I know, like you, I've got to back myself. I'm feeling quite confident that I'm not even going to finish in the bottom 3.
I've noticed recently that obviously yourself, you've started picking up some decent little results there and there. Obviously, Sloths have come up, and there's, you know, that sort of first few weeks, they were whipping boys in that Sloths couldn't score. Dragons were getting 4 put on them. And I do think the league has closed up a hell of a lot over the last few weeks. You know, it's 26 games. It's a short period. And if you don't hit the ground running, you're soon left with a lot of catching up to do, aren't you? But yeah, I think definitely teams have found maybe ways that suit them a little bit. And I think it's a bit too late for some teams, but you can definitely see big improvements from teams sort of lower down in the league.
And I presume the answer to the final question is Ardsley, and that is, who do you think goes on to win it? If it's not Ardsley, who wins it?
Valen.
No question?
Valen. Nah, I said it last year. They were the best team we played last season. They just blew us away twice, and we played them once this year, and they've blown us away again. So, you know, I've beat Bolton. I beat Midlothian. I beat Churchtown with 10 men. Valen absolutely blew us away. So, for me, yeah. Panathinaikos beat us pretty well as well, to be fair. So, you know, probably won't want to be meeting them because they're a bit of a bogey side. I don't know if I beat Panathinaikos under Joe either. So, yeah, probably want to avoid them.
Listen, thanks very much for taking time out of your evening to join me for this chat. As always, love having you on. It's always very entertaining. Enjoy the rest of your celebrations. I imagine you'll be celebrating for the next, 8 weeks until the Premier League season starts, and then for the next 38 weeks after that. Good luck for the second half of the season, and I look forward to beating you in the playoffs when our remarkable run sees us sneak 6th.
You'll get our place if that happens. If somebody can do that, when we'll come tumbling back down there.
I wonder how long before the chant "Ardsley's falling apart again" catches on.
Yeah, it could, couldn't it? It really could.
I can hear it in a little Scottish accent now.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, have a good evening, and thanks again, mate.
Yeah, thanks a lot, mate. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.